It's World Cancer Day, and I'm here to talk to you about the most feared disease in the world. I see cancer patients on a daily basis. So every day we have a chance for cancer to win or life to win. And that is the difference I see in my patients. Patients who self nurture, patients who follow through the programs more holistically have a higher chance of recovery. Um, why is that? Why is there no cure for cancer? What are the cancer triggers? Who can get cancer? I'm here to answer all these questions for you. Also, I'm in a low network zone. So if you find a disturbance in the transmission or if I am frozen, I will also be talking on my Instagram channel about this at 5 o'clock. My Instagram account is called RachnaRestores. So you can log in there and ask your questions, or you can put your comments below and I will see them and answer your questions. Right? So, first of all, the most feared disease in the world. I wrote a book on cancer. It came out 2 years ago. You Can Beat Cancer, which has case studies on people who have healed from cancer. And it also has very, very serious cancer prevention tips because we are living in an age of an epidemic where some of the triggers cannot be uh, addressed in our lifestyle. So then how do we overcome cancer while we have these triggers in our place? So the first thing I would like to start with is let go of the fear of cancer. Too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears. This is a beautiful quote by Le Brown, which is the starting of my book, which talks about cancer triggers. Now, very simply put, if you understand the triggers, you can get rid of the triggers and you can prevent cancer or you can reverse cancer. Because if you know the environment that caused it, you reverse the environment and then you become healthy. It's easier said than done. The triggers are very, very simply, and this is all clinical data I'm talking about. I'm not talking about general hearsay. Everything that I talk about has been clinically proven through various studies across the world with the top medical institutes. Number one trigger, obesity. Do you know how many people in India, considering that we are a third world country, we have a large amount of malnutrition in our country, but how many people are overweight? And that becomes a big trigger for cancer. Why? Because obesity will trigger inflammation. It will trigger a certain environment in your body that will make cancer cells flourish, that will invite cancer cells to flourish, right? So, obesity, which leads to inflammation, are big triggers for cancer. Then toxins around us. We live in a polluted city. The water, that we have or we drink has plastic in it. There's so much industrial waste. There is no regulation in this country for industrial waste to get segregated. It just seeps into our own soil. We grow the vegetables over there. We ingest those, and the toxins come in. Toxins are a huge part of the cancer triggers. Um, then there is food. Food can heal, food can destroy. There are too many of us eating the kind of things that will trigger cancer. The risk of type 2 diabetes caused by lifestyle issues will, increase your risk for cancer. So just fixing your food can make a huge impact. And then stress and anxiety. Every single study that you will see, whether you see it in my book or you see it clinically across most of the cancer centers, stress and anxiety and reduction in stress and anxiety are the key factors to reducing inflammation, to reducing cancer cell activity. and then genetics. Now, genetics, please remember, genetics will form 10 to 15% of the entire backdrop of the number of cases that we are getting. So 85% of the causes of cancer, the triggers for cancer, can easily be eliminated or controlled in a manner that we can prevent, manage, recover, reduce chances of recurrence, and lead a good quality of life. So, how do you do that? The first thing I would say, and that impacts 50% of the healing when I do with cancer patients, is fix your stress. Each one of us is living a stressful life, whether it is acknowledged stress or unacknowledged stress. Please understand that just because you feel okay doesn't mean that you're not carrying anything with you. You know, I can carry this cup for 5 minutes. My arm won't hurt. I can carry it for 5 hours, it'll start hurting. If I carry it for 5 weeks, of course, there's going to be a lot of damage. Now, if I carry it for 5 months, by the time I put my cup down, my arm is not going to feel better. First, I will need physiotherapy for my arm. Then I will need strengthening exercises to do. What did I do? I just carried the cup. The same applies for stress, anxiety, keeping things inside you, holding stuff inside you about who said what, why did this happen to me, this whole thing around, even, and hey, corporate leaders, the whole thing around perfection, it leads to stress. It leads to increase in the bad cells in our body. Let go, let go. It's not without reason that the yogic gurus say, let go, let go. There is reason. And if you don't know how to let go, use your breath. The stress that is seeped into your conscious and subconscious, the breath is the bridge between your conscious and subconscious. So, what do? You start gentler breathing. Start wearing one of these, or start taking your pulse rate and start reducing your pulse rate by doing gentle breathing. How do you do gentle breathing? You don't need to join a yoga class. You can inbox me and I can teach you, or I can tell you here right now, the simplest breathing to do, which will slow down your breath and slow down your inflammation, is what I always teach my patients: 4-6 breathing. So breathe in to a count of 4 seconds, breathe out to a count of 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A simple breathing like this, 10, just 10 counts in the morning, in the evening, and before sleeping, is going to drastically start reducing your inflammation levels. Please, please, each one of you be very cognitive of the stress that you're carrying, because that's 50% of the prevention that you're going to take to not get cancer. It's called a mind-body intervention. It changes us at the DNA level repair. This is documented data. There was a 6-week study done by a medical institute on women with breast cancer, and they did these mind-body interventions with their breath. And within just 6 weeks, the doctors and researchers saw a repair in the DNA. The moment you have a repair in the DNA, you know that you've started the healing process, right? Don't ever think that I can't get this, so and so will get it. I have treated 6-year-old kids with cancer. Anybody can get cancer. Each one of us is born with cancer cells. It's only when they multiply to a humongous amount that there is a tumor formation. And also remember that there is a tumor formation in that area. Just taking out that area does not mean that your cancer cells have disappeared. We have cancer cells across everywhere in our body. So sticking to one kind of conventional therapy is not going to work. Yes, if you get detected with cancer, take the advice of your doctor. Listen to your oncologist, but for what the oncologist has an expertise on. What do they have an expertise on? Chemotherapy, your radiation, immunotherapy, other forms. But make sure that you get the holistic nutrition advice from a holistic nutrition expert like me. There are a lot of them out there. I have a cancer masterclass that I've instituted just to ensure that there are more experts like me so that more and more cancer patients can get help. So listen to the doctor for what the doctor has the expertise on. Listen to the holistic nutrition cancer expert for what the expertise that the cancer expert has on. Don't mix the two. That's the key. The doctor has no information on this. The doctor is going to tell you that don't do this, don't do that, because they don't know, and they don't want anything to interfere with the healing. But there is data to show certain types of herbs, certain types of supplements, certain types of foods will help chemotherapy get more effective, will reduce inflammation faster, will reduce side effects of chemotherapy faster, like bloating, constipation, brain fog, muscle wasting. All these things can get taken care of by holistic nutrition and increase the chances of the patient recovering faster. Most importantly, for a cancer patient, the breath work will help them recover. Because with cancer comes the anxiety for the patient and for the family of the patient. So, whether it is you are a caregiver to a cancer patient, or you are a cancer patient yourself, or you are looking at preventing cancer because you have a family history of cancer, not doing your breath work is not an option. So make sure that it becomes a daily habit with you if you want to prevent cancer or reduce chances of cancer recurrence. There are various ways to help cancer patients in their recovery. Like I spoke about the conventional Western methods, which is chemotherapy, radiation, immunotherapy, and there are a lot of other new methods that are coming, targeted therapies are coming. There is holistic nutrition, which is a combination of physical nutrition, what you eat, how you move, emotional nutrition, how you react or respond to stress. So the breath work that I was talking about changes your response to stress. Stress is not going to go away. So that entire fear of cancer gets replaced with calmness and the hope of recovery, which is where I have seen the big difference in the outcome for my patients. That the moment you let go of the fear, good things start happening. This is true for life as well. Why? Because what was the worst that could have happened? It's already happened. You got cancer. What is the best that can happen? Yesterday was not in our control. So you already have the diagnosis. Today is in our control to strive for a better tomorrow. So you wake up with that hope and you do it right and you get the right, beautiful outcome. Like I said, holistic nutrition is of four. We have 4 rooms. Physical nutrition, how you move and eat, what all you eat. Most people get stuck at that level. Then there is emotional nutrition, which is the reactivity, which with the breath work we take care of. Then we've got mental nutrition, which is connected to the emotional nutrition. So if you have reactivity, you will have negative thought patterns, and that is going to all release acids in your stomach in the physical nutrition room. With the breath work, you take care of that also. And finally, the spiritual nutrition room, which is nothing to do with religion. It is how much self-nurturing will you do to, to heal yourself. So whether you want to prevent, you have chronic inflammation and you want to prevent, or you already have been diagnosed with cancer and you want to recover, how much do you follow in terms of the protocol to come out of cancer? Okay. These are the things which are extremely important uh, to focus on. And all the information is there in my book. You can go through my book. You can order it from Amazon, or you can email me. You can put a comment here. I will respond to it after I have finished this session. Apart from this, during the journey of the cancer patient, there is a lot of pain. So for that, there are a lot of unconventional holistic methods that are now being proven clinically as healing methods to reduce the pain levels and increase the recovery process for the patient. And for one of those, I've got Dr. Syed Tahir, who is, who works with integrative oncology, and he's here with us, and he's going to talk to you about one of these methods to reduce the pain. So I'm just welcoming him here. Hi, Dr. Tahir.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, namaskar. Dr. Tahir, why don't you introduce yourself? I just told them that you practice integrative oncology the holistic way, and how there is a clinically proven method to release the pain and make things more comfortable for the cancer patient, which is safe. And does not have side effects like the conventional treatments. So please share with everyone. We are live on YouTube right now.
Yeah, thank you, Rachna, and it's pleasure meeting you, knowing that you're a warrior, and not only just warrior, you're also the leader, leading the whole revolution towards this integrative approach, even before I also started this journey, right? So my name is Dr. Syed Tahir Hassan. I practice in Kerala and have online practice where we approach the cancer patients. And the biggest issue that cancer patient has is that of chronic pain, low appetite, and a sort of weakness. Okay, so it could be because of cancer, or it could be because of the treatment that they're taking, maybe chemotherapy, radiotherapy, whatever treatment they're going, it could be because of that. So when we look into the treatment aspect, we have very limited range of painkillers in the modern medicine. So that's why we have to look beyond that. You have to look beyond. And also, like, the best painkiller that is available for the cancer patients is morphine. And if you look back, even that was derived from a plant. So, and I was, I had a pleasure of meeting Dr. Pramod, who began his journey into, revolutionizing morphine as a painkiller even before it was made a medicine. And I met him, and he gave me such a brilliant inputs that you are doing the same what I did for morphine that you're doing for cannabis. So here, yeah, my dear friends and Rachna, you already know, that medical cannabis is one of the brilliant alternative that we have, which we got it from Mother Nature, from Ayurveda. It's a fantastic plant that we have, and it can reduce pain in the same way like the contemporary medicines that we have. For example, morphine or all that kind of pains, killer medications that we take. Additionally, what medical cannabis does to us is that it helps us with appetite, in sleep, and also in modulation of the disease, in the sense that if there is a need, then this medical cannabis can work on the disease itself, whether it is cancer or any inflammation that it is there. And the biggest discovery came in 1992 when the scientists came across that there is some system in us. In other words, if I want to tell in grossly, अरे भाई हम लोग खुद जो है कि नहीं भांग हमारे अंदर हमारे खून में हम लोग खुद बनाते हैं. So when that discovery came, so we came to know that there is an entire system which is known as endocannabinoid system. Means endo means inside us, like endocrine system, and cannabis is like cannabis type. So we have a system in us in which we have lock like CB1 and CB2 receptors. And then there are keys which we call as endocannabinoids. And medical cannabis in turn can act as key, stimulating this CB1 and CB2 receptors, giving us relief from pain, helping us in sleep, and helping us deal with our sufferings in a better way. And the biggest gift that endocannabinoid system has is euphoria. Like, we in our field, we say that you need to walk, you need to exercise. And when we do that, we get a pleasant high feeling, like a pleasant wellness, feeling of wellness. That feeling is euphoria. And that gets induced by medical cannabis in a very small way. Not like what, are ye to, ganja hai, phukne se hota
Yeah, Doc,
hai.
I'll just ask you a very pertinent question over here. Now, someone like me, I have never done any, I've never smoked, I've never done any drugs, anything. And I'm very wary. And a lot of people out there are very wary about it. What you spoke about just now, before you came in, I was telling everyone about the inflammation as a trigger for cancer, and
Yes.
how the holistic anti-cancer nutrition that I treat my patients with reduces the inflammation level. But that feeling of the in the patients who do not do the entire protocol, like who do not do the breath work, who do not get motivated to do the yoga and breath work, and they feel low and they feel like victims. Are you saying that the endorphin release kind of feeling that we get with exercise is going to help them get hope?
Yes, yes. I think that is beautiful. And also, like you are saying, endorphin release, there was an experiment which they done where they can selectively block the animals with the endorphins and the endocannabinoids. And they found that there is a chemical by name anandamide. Ananda is bliss molecule, like which have. It is and plentiful, it is there in diet, and especially in dark chocolate, which we use for,
That's
like coffee animals and all those things. So plenty of it is there in dark chocolate. So this anandamide, or chemically what we call as arachidonyl ethanolamine, as just to put an impression, AEA. So this molecule gets stimulated in our body when we do exercises, when we do positive mind body therapies, like even massage, even when we talk, good things about that. It stimulates in our body. And once the anandamide levels go high, we get this pleasant feeling of, yes, we are going to get better. And yes, with these activities, we are going to come out of the situation. And same thing this medical cannabis also does. It gently acts like anandamide and stimulates the system so that we get that feeling, yes, sir, I can cope up with this in much better way. And as you know, not one therapy is complete, so we need the
yes.
amalgamation of all this together.
Right, right, absolutely. So there are, in patients, late stage patients is what I get, in patients who can get motivated, and I'm known to also scold my patients, so they quickly get, motivated to follow everything.
Yes.
But for those who do not, and here I'm also going to take a minute to talk about women. 80% of my cancer patients are women, and India has the largest number of breast cancer cases for women, and India
Yes.
also has the largest number of depressed women in the world as per WHO data.
Yes.
And we were just talking about before you came in how stress is one of the biggest triggers for cancer. So while we reduce stress, and the tendency of women when they get cancer is a feeling, we all feel helpless. So this helplessness can get channelized with the medical cannabis to get the hope for recovery and follow a holistic program, as well as listen to the doctor to do the
Yes.
chemo and all that stuff.
Yes. There is something, I'll just put two words, something called as reward mechanism, which we talk about in psychiatry, right? So this reward mechanism is something like shabashi, अरे अच्छा काम किया है. So that body has that. And cannabis, what it does is, if there is a positive reward system, it will enable that. If you are in negative reward system, like for the people who smoke in a bad way, youngsters, I would say, please avoid. Because if you have traumas in you, psychological traumas, that can magnify and that can take you in a negative way. So if you do it in a positive way, like under the care of a therapist, right? So then it definitely gives a stimulatory effect where the euphoria is gently in such a state that it takes you out of your sufferings. And then you put you into a positive mode where you are open to the therapist, where you're open to the therapies, and also you are open to the fact that our body can itself heal the cancer that we are suffering from.
Yeah, you very rightly put, because every cancer patient has trauma. The biggest trigger is stress. You're
Yes.
carrying your past with you, you're carrying your emotional wounds, and you have never exposed them to anyone, and it comes in the form of cancer. Is this habit forming?
I wouldn't say it is habit forming as a medical, when you look at the medicine aspect of it. But if you look at the recreational aspect of this, yes, because you are actually using a lot more than what your body can do. So it is like, if I want to put it grossly, it is like you're driving in the first gear. So as long as you're in city, it is okay. But the moment you go on a higher
Mm.
ways, your engine can burn out. But when with medical cannabis, it's a lot more gentle. So it has lot more CBD, as we call, and it is lot more gentle, and it actually puts you into the top gear so that you can readily come out of whatever sufferings you are in. So it is not habit forming in medical aspect, because we have CBD, which actually reduces the effect of THC, the so-called the bad molecule, which
Yeah.
predisposes us to addiction and all that.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Thank you. The key is that they need to do it under supervision
Yes.
with an integrative oncologist expert so that they
Yes.
don't reach the level of morphine, because morphine is extreme and that's for extreme pain. Thank you so much, Dr. Tahir, for this.
Yeah. It's very,
And
it is pleasure. And on this day,
World
I
Cancer
wish.
Day, yes.
Yes, on this day, I think, and also the latest article that came, that a lot of our young people are suffering from the cancer. I think this
Yes,
is the best way to approach, look around, and
yes.
look on the factors and prepare your diet. And keep listening to us, like keep listening to Rachna, because she definitely, is the one of the main person who is spearheading the process of healing for all of us. Yeah, thank you, Rachna, for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you. So as you heard, Dr. Tahir, it has to be under supervision. That is one of the emerging ways that even some of the oncologists in the US, some of the top doctors across the world are also saying that just for pain management, it is allowed, and in a lot of the US hospitals as well. Now, while we are talking about hospitals, the top hospitals in the US, there are the top two, three hospitals that are there for cancer. You've got Sloan Kettering, you've got Dana-Farber. All these hospitals have a wing called Integrative Oncology, which has a focus. For the last 20 years, they have been researching and doing this, which has a focus on lifestyle modifications to have better patient outcomes. Right? What do lifestyle modifications means, and what do these hospitals cover in these lifestyle modifications? Yoga, nutrition, mind-body interventions like breath work, stress release. It's been clinically proven at these top cancer institutes that all these lifestyle modifications have better patient outcomes. And it cannot be reiterated enough that when you are looking at cancer treatment, don't look at cancer in a unidimensional manner. Okay, I will only get chemotherapy done, and then after I'm done, then I will look after my nutrition. There is data available for the patient not being able to take chemotherapy and succumbing from the side effects of chemotherapy, and not the cancer itself. So please remember that we are holistic beings. Cancer is everywhere in the body. Uh, whether to heal from cancer, reduce your inflammation levels, reduce side effects of treatments and medications, both are essential. You listen to your doctor, like I said earlier, and you listen to a holistic cancer nutrition expert for recovery. So faster recovery and chances of recurrence start getting reduced with holistic anti-cancer nutrition. I've had a lot of cases where some patients have come immediately after surgery, chemotherapy, and the doctors are baffled why their cancer markers, inflammation levels are still high. Within just 45 days of the holistic anti-cancer nutrition treatment with me, the cancer markers and the inflammation levels tumble down, because the body's ability to heal itself is higher than anyone has ever told you. Right? So for each one of you out there fearing cancer, don't fear, it's just a disease. I had listed the triggers out. You can watch the beginning of the video. The moment we focus on eliminating the triggers, how do you eliminate the triggers? If you are overweight, please get on a moderate exercise and nutrition program. Do not over exercise, because that causes oxidative stress and increases inflammation. So if you are overweight, start losing weight the right way. If you have chronic inflammation inside you, get onto a nutrition and yoga program that will directly impact your clinical markers to reduce inflammation in just 3 weeks. That's what I've seen with my patients who come to me. If you live in a polluted city, um, in your common areas and your living room and dining areas, just infest your room with air purifying plants like Erica palm, rubber plant, money plant. These will purify the air inside. So the pollution that's coming in from outside inside is starts getting negated, and you're going to get fresher air when you sit inside. You can also light camphor, because camphor is also an air purifier. You can have a mild camphor on all through the day. So with do not put the plants in the sleeping area, because at night they produce carbon monoxide, so that's not good for you. Take care of your toxins also by washing your vegetables well and eating more greens. 50% of your meals should be vegetables, because vegetables have are the biggest powerhouse for anti-cancer benefits and to reduce inflammation. They also strengthen and make our liver more efficient. If your liver is efficient, it is going to release the toxins faster. So if you're living in a polluted city, you have a toxin load, eating vegetables, putting the plants, it's all holistic. It all gets combined. There is no one single food or single therapy that heals you from cancer or prevents you from getting cancer. You have to do it all together. So focus on the triggers, reduce your triggers. And like I said, I've treated 6-year-old kids with cancer. I've treated 15-year-old teenagers with cancer. I've treated 27-year-old young women with cancer. I've treated women and men in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Cancer spares no one. What you can do is take these precautions, prevent cancer, or if you have cancer, take a deep breath. Don't let the fear get to you. Treat it like you would treat any other toxin in your body. What happens when you have high cholesterol or type 2 diabetes? You have excess sugar, you have excess bad lipid. Focus on releasing the excess cancer cells, and they will get released. With that hope, you can be cancer free. And I have seen that with my patients. So on World Cancer Day today, I request each one of you to leave the fear of cancer behind and to start self nurturing through the techniques that we spoke about in this session, so that we can all be healthy with low inflammation levels, high agility, and most importantly, a positive frame of mind.